Today we are going to discuss about ratio and proportion. Ratio and proportion you have already studied in class 6th. Let us discuss more in detail. Now ratio is a comparison of measures of two or more quantities of the same kind by division. Now some important points. A and B are two quantities of the same kind, which means if A is measured in volume, then B should also be measured in volume and not in mass. Example, A is equals to 2 liter, then B should also be in liter form. It can be in milliliter, it can be in kiloliter, but not in kg, in mass form. Clear? Now, there are in fraction form. They are in fraction form. A upon B. Written as A, then the semicolon, B. We read as A is to B, where A is the first term and B is the second term. Now the numerator part, A, we say it as antecedent, and the denominator part, B, we say as consequent. Now since ratio is a fraction, both of its term, numerator and denominator, can be multiplied or divided by the same non-zero number and no effect will be there in their fraction form. This you have already studied in fraction, isn't it? Ratio is a number. It has no units. Remember this. Ratio is expressed in the lowest term or in the simplest or standard form. Reduce it as much you can. The order of the term in a ratio is important. With the example on your screen, it will be clear. Now A is having 1 and B is carrying 2. So A is to B, we can write as 1 upon 2. But B is to A. If we change the order, then 2 is to 1, which means 2 upon 1, which means 2. Now half is equals to 2? No. So with this, it will be clear that the order of the term in a ratio is very important. We cannot assume that A is to B is equals to B is to A. Clear? Now to compare the ratio, make them into a like fraction, which you have to make the denominator same to compare. Clear? Now equivalent ratio. Two ratios are called equivalent if the fractions corresponding to them are equal. With the example, it will be more clear. Suppose that here one ratio is 3 is to 5 and another ratio is 9 is to 15. Now 3 is to 5 are the prime numbers, so we cannot further divide it. But 9 and 15, yes, we can divide it by 3 and to make it in a simpler form. Now 9 is to 5 simpler form is 3 is to 5, which is same. So they are the equivalent ratios. Clear? Now ratio A is to B is to C. Three quantities of the same kind which contains the same units are said to be in the ratio A is to B is to C if the quantities are AK, BK and CK respectively, where K is any positive number. The examples which we will discuss later will make you more clear. Similarly, for the four quantities, A is to B is to C is to D, where K is the positive number. Now, increase or decrease of a quantity in a given ratio. If a quantity increases or decreases in the ratio A is to B, then the new quantity will be B is to A of the original quantity. Let us understand with an example. An increase in the ratio is 5 is to 2, implies that the new quantity is to old quantity is 5 is to 2. Let the new quantity be x. So here x is a new quantity, so it is coming first. X is to 20, that is the old quantity is to 5 is to 2. Now cross product rule applies over here. As you can see on your screen, 2 will be multiplied with x and 20 will be multiplied with 5. Now 2x is equals to 100, so x will be equals to, now here x will be equals to 50, but here 5 by 2 is a multiplying ratio. Alright, now proportion. An equality of the two ratios is called a proportion, or the equal of the two ratios is called a proportion. Now here A, B, C and D are said to be proportion, where A and D are the two extreme ends, so we say it as extreme term, and the middle term is B and C, or we say it as mean term as well. So the product of extreme terms is equals to the product of middle term. Here the product of extreme terms are, product means multiplication, so A into D, they are the product of extreme terms, and product of middle terms or means are B into C, they are the middle terms. As you can see below, A upon B is equals to C upon D, where A and D is multiplied, where B and C are multiplied according to cross product rule. Clear? Now continued proportion. Three quantities A, B and C, same kind and in same unit, means that the ratio between the first and the second is equals to the ratio between the second and the third. Now here A is to B equals to B is to C, where both the B are mean proportion. A is the first proportion and C over here is the third proportion. Now according to the cross product rule, A into C and B into B, which we can say as B square is equals to AC. This is a continued proportion. Now about unitary method. A method in which the value of unit quantity is first obtained to find the value of any required quantity is called a unitary method. Let's understand with an example. Now in 5 subjects scored 600 marks. How many marks scored in 7 subjects? The solution will be 5 subject marks scored 600. So therefore one subject marks obtained 600 upon 5. Then 7 subjects marks scored 600 upon 5 into 7, and the result will be 840 marks. Clear? Now let us understand with a shortcut method for unitary method. Take a column, separate it in a two part, subjects and marks scored. Now here 5 subject, 600 marks, 7 subject, and the marks you have to find out. So we take it as x. Now here cross product rule apply. So 5 into x and 600 into 7. So x will be 600 into 7 upon 5. Answer is the same, 840. Now about speed, distance and time. Speed of an object is the distance covered by it in a unit time. Clear? The formula for speed is distance upon time. The formula for distance is speed into time. The formula for time is distance upon speed. Now here, for example, if a distance is 1 kilometer and time is 1 hour, the speed is equals to distance upon time, which we say 1 kilometer is the distance and 1 hour is the time. The speed will be 1 kilometer per hour or kilometer per hour. Now another way, if distance is in meter and time is in second, so speed will be meter per second. Now converting kilometer per hour into meter per second, here if you have to convert 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter and 1 hour is equals to 60 into 60 seconds. The speed is equals to distance upon time, so 1 kilometer upon 1 hour, which we convert as 1000 meter upon 60 into 60. Here two zeros of 60s will be cancelled on the numerators, on the numerator part, and then 10 into 36 will be left. Then we will divide it by 2. So 10 will turn into 5 and 36 will turn into 18. So to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, we multiply by 5 upon 18. Clear? To convert meter per second into kilometer per hour. Now 1 meter is equals to how many kilometers? 1 upon 1000. And second, 1 upon 60 into 60, that is 3600. Clear? Now speed is equals to distance upon time. Now here distance is in meter, you have to convert into kilometer, put the value of meter over here in terms of kilometer, and second as well with the same way. Now here 1 upon 1000 divided by 1 upon 3600. This 60 into 60 will come up, and you can simplify the two zeros of 1000 with the 60 into 60, that will be cancelled, and then with dividing by the 2. So here 36 will be divided and turns into 18, and 10 will be divided by 2 and turns into 5. So 18 by 5. So to convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, you have to multiply by 18 upon 5. Clear? Now uniform speed and variable speed. Uniform speed is also known as constant speed. An object cover equal distance at equal time interval. Here, variable speed, an object covers different distances at equal in time interval. This I have already taught you in the first chapter of your physics about speed and different types using the graph as well. Now, let us understand with few questions to what we have discussed till now. Now, express the following in simplest form. Now, here they are, the two ratios are in the mixed form. We try to make it in an improper form. Now here 7 upon 2 and 49 upon 8. These are the two ratios. Now 7 upon 2 divided 49 upon 8. This 8 will come up and 49 will be staying with 2. Alright. Now do the cancellation part. 7 into 7 is 49 and 7 into 1 is 7. So cancel 7 and 49 with 7. There on 7 part 1 will be left, and on 49 7 will be left. With the same way, we can do it with 8 and 2. Divide 2 on both the numerator and denominator. So here 2 divided by 2 will give you 1, and 8 divided by 2 will give you 4. Clear? So on the numerator part 4 is left, and in the denominator part 7 is left. So 4 upon 7, and we can write it as 4 is to 7. This is the answer. Now take another example to understand it. Now here 10 decimeter is to 5 decameter. Now 1 decameter, you have already studied this in class 5th in the measurement chapter. So 1 decameter is equals to 100 decimeter. Now 5 decameter then is equals to 500 decimeter. Now 10 decimeter and 500 decimeter. Now these decimeters will be cancelled because the ratio do not have any units. Now 10 upon 500 is left. Now divide with 10 to the numerator and the denominator part. 1 upon 50 will be left. So we can read as 1 is to 50 will be the answer. Now let's discuss the second question. If A is to B is 2 is to 5 and B is to C is 10 is to 16, find the value of A is to C. Now here A and B we can represent in a fraction form and write it 2 upon 5 and BC as 10 upon 16. Now here the two terms are the same. B is over here 5 and on the denominator side, and B is on the numerator side as 10. So we will take the LCM of 5 and 10, and the LCM will be 10. Now 10 comes in the table of 5 two times, so that 2 will be multiplied on both the end, that is on the numerator and the denominator part. So 2 into 2 and 5 into 2, that will turn into 4 upon 10. Now let's balance the other equation. It is already there. We can multiply with 1 on numerator and denominator. We don't have to change because B is already came 10, and which is there 10 in the second ratio. So now we can see that A is 4, B is 10, which is common in both, and C is 16. Now after doing this, you have to see whether the fractions can be reduced or not. Yes, if you want, you can reduce it over there, or if it is asking A is to C, then you can do it into a simplest form. Now here, if you are doing directly A is to B is to C, you can divide all the three ends with the same, and it is coming 2 is to 5 is to 8. 2 is to 5 is to 8. Now A is to C you have to find. So you have already calculated 2 is to 8. You can further divide it. It will come 1 is to 4. Or what you should do is that you can take A and C, do not divide, just simply write it A is to B is to C, and then if it is asked, you have to find A is to C, then 4 is to 16 is there on your screen. Now you further simplify it with 4. Divide both the numerator and the denominator end by 4. So here on the A side it is a 1, and on the C side it is having 4. So A upon C is 1 upon 4, or we can say in the ratio form A is to C is 1 is to 4. Clear? I mean, I have discussed both the ways. Whichever way you find it easy, you can do it. Now question number 3. If A is to B is 6 is to 5 and B is to C is 30 is to 14, then find A, B, C. Here all three you have to find. on the above it was been asked A and C, here all the three proportion. Now A is to B is we can write as 6 upon 5 and B is to C as 30 upon 14. Now here what you have to do is that you have to make it same, both the B form on the denominator and the numerator. Now here 5 and 30 you have to take the LCM. Let's discuss on the next page. Now LCM of B, that is 5 and 30, will be 30. Clear? Now 5 was there on the denominator side, so in the table of 5, 30 comes 6 times. So you have to multiply on the numerator and denominator side with 6. Here on 30 is already there and LCM is also 30, so you don't need anything. So you can either left or do the multiplication with 1, so that it's a property of 1 that it does not change the number. So you can do it if you want to multiply with 1 or leave it. Now here AB, now it comes 36 upon 30 and B is 30 upon 14. Now 30 is same, both the B is the same. Now here A is to B is to C, if you have to write, you can write 36 is to 30 is to 14. Now you further simplify it. That's what I was saying, that you can further simplify it. All the three, it should be divided, a number you should pick which should be divided should be dividing all the three ratios. Now it will be 2, so divided with 2 you will be getting 18 is to 15 is to 7. That is the answer. Now a line segment 12 meter length is divided into 2 parts such that the second part is 1/3 of the first part. Find the length of the 2 parts. Here the length of line segment is 12 meter. Ratio of length of 2 parts, that is 1 is to 1 by 3, and if you do the cross multiplication it will turns into 3 is to 1. The sum of the terms of the ratio, you have to add both the ratios, that is 3 is to 1 you will add, and it will 3 plus 1 is 4. Now the length of the first part 3 is there, which you have found it before, and here 4 is the sum of the term, that is here 4. So 3 upon 4 into 12 meter, which is the length of the line segment. Now divide 4 with 12 3 times it will be, and 3 into 3 will be 9 meter, and the length for the second part is on the above. You can see it, the ratio is already there, 3 is to 1. The first part we have already calculated. Now the second part is 1 upon 4 into 12, that will be 3 meter. And if you want to check whether your division is correct or not, you can add both the part, and you will see that it is coming the length of the line segment, of the total line segment, that is 12. Now here 9 meter and 3 meter is the answer. A certain sum of money is divided into 3 parts in the ratio 3 is to 5 is to 2. If the second part is 300 rupees, find the total amount and the other 2 parts. Let the total amount be X. The amount has been divided into 3 parts in the ratio 3 is to 5 is to 2. Now you have to total this 3 ratios, that will be 10. Now second part is already given as 300 rupees, so 5 upon 10 into x will give you 300. Now 5x upon 10 is equal to 300. Now let's do the cross product rule, apply and do the cross multiplication, and 5x is equals to 3000 and x is equals to 600. That is the total amount. Now as you have already calculated the total amount, now it will be easy for us to find the first and the third, because the second part is already given as 300 rupees. Now the first part it is in the ratio of 3 upon 10, the sum of the total term. So 3 upon 10 into 600, which gives you 180. And the third part, 2 upon 10 into 600, which will give you 120. And if you want to check whether your answer is correct or not, or add all the three parts. That is first part, which is 180, second part 120, which is 180 plus 120, that is 300, and 300 of B part, which is coming total 600, which is there, which you have already found. So you can check it by your own. Now let us discuss question number 6. Divide rupees 403 into three parts such that the first part is 1/3 of the second and the ratio between the second and the third is 4:5. Since the ratio between second and the third part is already given 4:5, let the second and the third part we can make it into x form, that is 4x and 5x. Then the first part is 1 upon 3, which is 1/3 into 4x, which will give you 4x upon 3. Add all the sum which should be coming, which is already given here, 403. So you have already marked the ratios in the x form. Like here, 4x upon 3 plus 4x plus 5x, which will give you together as 403. Now take the LCM as 3, and here for the first one, 3 is also in the denominator part, so 3 into 1, if you have to multiply with 1 over 4, the numerator end, no change will be there, so 4x plus, now 1 is there, so 3 will be multiplied with 4x, that will give you 12x, and 3 will be multiplied with 5 will give you 15x, is equals to rupees 403 upon 1. I have done it so that it will be easy to understand. So here try to multiply 1 with all the part, 4x plus 12x plus 15x, that will be coming 31x, no effect will be there now, but 3 multiplied with 403 will give you 1209. Now 31x is equals to 1209, then x is equals to 1209 upon 31 will give you 39. Now you have already found the value of x. Now put the value of x in the different parts. The first part, 4 upon 3 x. So here 4 upon 3 into 39 will give you rupees 52. The second part, 4x, which will give put the value of x over here. So 4 into 39 will give you 156. And the third, 5x, 5 into 39, 195. So when you add all them, you will find that the sum is coming 403, 52, 156 and 195. To check your answer. Now the present age of tin and pin are in the ratio 3:4. 4 years ago, their age were in the ratio 2:3. Find the present age. As the previous age of tin and pin are in the ratio 2:3, let their previous age be 2x and 3x. You have to make it into an x form. Now after 4 years, the age of tin will be 2x plus 4 and the age of pin will be 3x plus 4. According to the given, now 2x plus 4 upon 3x plus 4 is equals to the present age ratio, that is 3 upon 4. Now to do the cross multiplication, 4 will be going to the 2x plus 4, and here 3 will be multiplied with 3x plus 4, and then do the interchange, make it in the variable and the constant form, separate the variable and constant form. So 9x will and do the minus with 8x, and here 12 will be switching over to the 16 side and turn the sign. So here x is equals to 4. Now after getting the value of x, put it in their x where you have framed an equation to get the value. So here 2 into 4 will give you 8, plus 4 will give you 12 years, the age of tin, and the age of pin will be 3x plus 4. So 3 into 4, 4 will give you 12, and 12 plus 4 is 16 years. Let's discuss the question number 8. The ratio of number of boys to the number of girls in a school of 1008 student is 13:8. If 26 new boys are admitted in the school, find how many new girls may be admitted so that the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls may change to 5:6. Now the solution part. The ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls is 13:8. Sum of the total of the ratio, that is 13 plus 8 is 21. Now the number of boys in the school in the ratio is already there 13, so 13 upon the total sum, here 21 of the ratio, so 13 upon 21 into 1008. So the answer is 624. And for the girls, 8 upon 21 into 1008, the answer is 384. Now let the number of new girl admitted be x, and then the number of girls become 384 plus x, because boys value is there, 26 new boys came. Now we have to find the new girls admission. All right, how many girls admitted in the school according to the given condition. Now the 650 becomes when the boys were already 624, you have found out the value and find out the value, and then you have added 26, that turns 650 upon 384 plus x is equals to, they are in the ratio, new ratio is there. When the new boys entered, the ratio changed into 5:6, so new ratio is there, 5 upon 6. Now do the cross product rule, apply cross product rule and do the cross multiplication. Now 650 into 6 and 5 will be multiplied with 384 plus x. Now the calculation is there on your screen. Now the x value is 396. So the new girl who admitted in with the current ratio is 396. Clear? Now question number 9. Which ratio is greater? 3 is to 3 is to 2 or 5 is to 4 is to 5. Now as to compare any ratio or compare any fraction or compare then you have to take the LCM, because you have to make the fractions into like form where the similar denominator should be there. So similar, if the denominators are different, you have to take the LCM. Like here, take the LCM for 2 and 5, it will be 10. Now in the table of 2, 10 comes 5 times, so multiply on the numerator side, that is 3 into 5, which is 15, and in the table of 5, 10 comes 2 times, multiply it with the numerator, that is 4 into 2, that is 8. Now separate it. Now 15 upon 10 and 8 upon 10, which is very clear that 15 upon 10 ratio, which is 3 upon 2, is greater than 4 upon 5. Clear? Now which of the following statements are true? The first is 6.5 is to 2.6 equals to 1.25 is to 0.5, And the B question is 26 boys is to 10 boys is equals to 24 dolls is to 16 dolls. Let us see the solution for it. Now 6.5 is to 2.6 equals to 1.25 upon 0.5. Now here the decimals are on they are having on one digit. So multiply it with 10, and here on the another ratio here 1.25 you have to multiply with 100 to make it in a non-decimal form. So here 65 upon 26 it turns, and over there 125 upon 50 it becomes. Now simplify it to make it in a simpler form, and after doing this it is coming 5 upon 2, and over there it is 5 upon 2, which means that the statement is true, they both are same. Let's take the B part. 26 boys is to 10. Now here boys and boys are already cancelled, that is why we do not contain here ratio do not contain any unit. And 24 talls is to 16 tall. 24 talls upon 16 tall, you just cancel talls and tall cancel, and then here boys and boys are cancelled. Then now simplify 26 upon 10 with 2, that is 13 upon 5. Now further it cannot be divided because they are the prime numbers. And now here 3 upon 2. Now 13 upon 5, and on the another side 3 upon 2, are they same? No, they are not equal, so that statement is not true. Now find the fourth proportional to the 9.6 is to 2.4 is to 100. Now here we are not knowing the fourth proportional, so we will mark as x. Now 9.6 upon 2.4 is equals to 100 upon x. Now cross product rule and do the cross multiplication. Here 9.6 into x is equals to 2.4 into 100, and then x is equals to 25 as the calculation is there on your screen. So the fourth proportion is 25. Now let's discuss about the 12th question. The ages of Ashu and Basu are in the ratio 7 is to 5. If Basu's age is 3 years and 9 months old, find the age of Ashu. Now let's Basu age is Basu age is 3 years and 9 months. Convert 9 months into an year form. So 9 upon 12 over there, and simplify it. So now the mixed form it will be coming 3 upon 4. Now do make it into an improper form, that is 15 upon 4 years. Now the age of Asu and Basu in the ratio 7 is to 5. So 7 upon 5 is equals to Ashu and Basu. Now here put the value of Basu on the denominator side, and then do the cross product rule, and it 15 into 4 will be multiplied with 7, and 5 into Ashu, because you have to find the age of Ashu. Or either you can use the term x instead of Ashu, but I wrote as Ashu the name. So here 15 into 4 into 7 is equals to 5 into Ashu. Now the 5 will go to divide with the term. So 15 into 7 upon 4 into 5. So cancellation is there. Now 21 upon 4 years is the Ashu age. It is a bit confusion, so what you try to do is that try to convert this first into month and then convert into year. So for converting it, you multiply it with 12, and then it is coming 63 months. So 63 month can be broken as splitting it into 60 month plus 3 months. So 60 month is 5 year, because 1 year is having 12. So if you divide it with 12, it is coming 5. Now this one, and then this 3 months. So 5 years and 3 months will be the age of Ashu. Clear? Now question number 13. A typist types 70 pages in 3 hours 30 minutes. How long will she take to type 300 pages? A typist types 70 pages in 3 hours 30 minutes. Then again you have to change it 30 minutes, which means it will be 30 minutes upon 60 minutes, which will be half. Then change it into an it is like a mixed fraction, which I have already did just below. You can check it, that 3 hour 30 minutes. 30 minutes is changed into, you have to make it into hour, so it will be half. And then the ratio will be 7 upon 2. Not ratio, the fraction will be 7 upon 2. Now a typist type one page, that is 7 upon 2 upon 70. Clear? Now a typist types 300 pages, so 7 upon 2 upon 70 into 300, as the calculation is there in front of you. Like here the answer will be coming 15 hours. So a typist type 300 pages in 15 hours. This is the one way to do it. Another shortcut method is that separated pages and hour. 70 pages, 7 upon 2 or 3.5 hours, and 300 pages in how many hours? That the how many hours is x. Now do the cross multiplication, 70 into x and 300 into 7 upon 2. With this also you can do it. 70x is equals to 7 upon 2 into 300. Now x is equals to 7 into 150 upon 70, that is 15 hours will be the answer. And it is the same how we have done in a different form. That is the shortcut here. Now for question number 40. If 12 boys can eat 48 kg of cake, how many boys are required to eat 720 kg of cake? Since for 48 kg of cake required boys are 12, and for 1 kg of cake required boys 12 upon 48. Now for 720 kg of cakes required boys, 12 upon 48 into 720, that is 180 boys required to eat 720 kg of cake. Now you can do this way also, or you can do in the shortcut form. Now convert 72 km per hour into meter per second. Very simple, as we have already discussed. That is, you just simply have to multiply with 5 upon 80. You can get here the answer is 20 meter per second. Now convert 20 meter per second into kilometer per hour. You just have to multiply 18 upon 5, and the answer is 72 km per hour. Now a man starts his journey with a speed of 40 km per hour and cover a distance of 240 km. In that same time he could travel 360 km by car. Find the speed in meter per second. Now a man with the speed of 40 km per hour travel 240 km. Time taken, now time is equals to distance upon speed, as we have discussed. Now distance is 240 km and speed is 40 km per hour. Like here kilometer is cancelled, and 40 into 6 is 240, so cancel it with 40, so each answer is 6 hours. Now in 6 hours by car travel is 360 km. Now here you have to find the speed, because time is given, distance is given. So speed is equals to distance upon time, that is 360 km upon 6, which is coming 60 km per hour. Now convert, because in the question it is asked to convert into the speed, to calculate speed into meter per second. So you have to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, and that is 60 into 5 upon 80, and the answer is coming 50 into 50 upon 3, or you can make it in a mixed form, that will be 16 2 by 3 meter per second. Let's discuss the last question. Question number 17. A journey takes 4 hours and 30 minutes, a speed of 60 kilometer per hour. How long will the same journey take at a speed of 15 meter per second? Like here, time taken in a journey is 4 hours 30 minutes. So convert it into an hour. So that is half, and then try to make it in an improper form. That is 9 upon 2, or that the speed is given 60 kilometer per hour. Distance is equals to speed into time, as speed is 60 kilometer per hour and time is 9 upon 2. You will be getting the distance 270 kilometer. Clear? Now convert this 15 meter per second into kilometer per hour, you because the distance is in kilometers, so it is easy for you to calculate it into. So your speed should also be in kilometer per hour, so you have to convert it. So 15 into 18 by 5, that is will be 54 kilometer per hour. Now here speed is given, distance is given, you have to find the time which is asked, how long. So time taken is equals to distance upon speed. So distance is 270 kilometer and the speed is 54 kilometer per hour. As the calculation is there on your screen, the time will be 5 hours. This is the answer.